Hello anime lovers, from today onwards we are going to start a new anime called The Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army Was a Human. Now, as the episode starts, we can see a girl who took a storybook of Ike. He served in the demon army and he was the grandson of Romberg. Ike gradually becomes part of the army and he took a battalion and attacked the town of Arsenum, and as the army pierced through the gate, they were a step closer to conquering the town, but before that they have to first kill their leader, so he goes over himself to defeat him. But first he introduced himself as the commander of the 7th Unit Battalion named Undying Brigade. Ike gives him 3 options: surrender, die, or run away, but the prideful leader refused to choose the options, and Ike had to show a little example of his powers. That little example was enough to make him unconscious, so Ike tells his assistant to do a check-up on him and those who surrendered. At that time, Cifero saw his every move and was impressed that boy had potential. As for Ike, he makes a barrier in the room, because all this war and bloodshed is not to his liking since he's a human himself. His teacher was Romberg, a famous magician, and he adopted a little human kid he saw. Romberg taught him about the lost civilization and warned him never to say a word or else a disaster may fall down, and moreover, he told Ike to never reveal his identity to anyone or else the Demon King will punish him. And for that he made this barrier so no one could enter, but if someone is already inside, then there's nothing he could do. That maid is clumsy that she hit her head and falls unconscious in panic. But Ike felt like crying that his secret will go out with this nonsense mess up, but while she was unconscious, Ike went out, and their Jerome wanted him to not show mercy to the humans, but Arsenum is a trade town and if there are no citizens then there's no revenue, so Ike ignored it and met the townspeople. They were concerned about the tax amount, so Ike assured them that the tax would be the same as it used to be, but if they resist the demon army, they would be punished. Saying that, he vanished into thin air and got summoned in front of a huge golem who started attacking him, and the one who summoned him was Cifero. But Ike wasn't a noob and broke her creation, and Cifero got in such awe that the little kid who used to hide behind his grandpa has become so strong. Anyways, Cifero is the corps commander of the 7th unit and his superior, and also the only person who knows he's a human. And Ike thought she summoned him for the report on the Arsenum town, but there was no need, because Cifero had observed everything with her familiar. She summoned him here because Darakuten, the Demon King, wants to meet him because Demon King was impressed with the feat that Ike had pulled out in conquering Arsenum in 1 week, so they have to leave right now, and Cifero told him to put his hand on her shoulder, and doing so she takes him right to the Demon Lord's castle. At the same time, Little Maid woke up but was unable to leave the room because of the barrier. But she saw the food on the table with the note saying stay put, so Lady helps herself with the treat, and their Ike was affected by the miasma because he's a human. And unfortunately they have to go through some checking at the door, but if they do that, they might find out Ike is a human, so Cifero surrounded Ike with a magic, and the guard got impressed that Ike has such strong mana, as expected from the grandson of Romberg. Then they entered the castle, which is stupidly big, even the hallway is long, which was boring. So Cifero said they are close to the audience chamber, but something tells her that Ike is jealous that she could fly. Ike says he's not. But he is jealous because he can't use flight magic like her. After that they arrived at the room, but Cifero goes ahead first to meet Demon Lord, and while Ike was waiting, he was thinking that the Demon Lord is such a man who turned the tides of war to the demon side. He's cruel, who would leave his friends who are incompetent, and he would use anyone even if they are weak if they got any values. Demons naturally never worked with each other, but everything changed when Darakuten ascended the throne, so one could say that he's the strongest man. And when Ike meets the Demon Lord, he finds out the Demon Lord is a charming girl. She heard about the Arsenum, and Ike says he just did his work, so all credit goes to Cifero. But such humble behavior is just like humans, so Ike was about to be exposed. And Cifero said he's Romberg's grandson, which explains why Ike is humble. Old man also never killed meaninglessly in war. Ike understood he should have listened to Jerome. So Ike said if they rule the people with fear then it wouldn't produce results, but if they leave their leader and show mercy, it would benefit them and the army. Although they just met, Ike is sure she knows about lost civilization and used that knowledge to rebuild the demon army, and then she came down and wished to see Ike's real face when they meet again. And after saying that she left, Ike was nervous because she knew he had a mask on. But Cifero says he should be happy instead that she didn't find out he's a human. Anyways, she had given a reward to Ike, but it's more like a punishment. So with it he returns and saw the maid was sleeping, so he wakes her up and she again chants her saving mantra. So Ike said he won't kill her and asked her name, and she said it's 13, she's a slave and slaves are based on number, but her mother called her Sati. Now, Ike can't leave her because she knows his secret, and for that, she has to become her personal maid. Well, even that was enough for her. Then the next day Ike becomes the ruler of Ivalia's town, so Demon Lord made him ruler of this town, which is situated in the front lines of the war. This town was in such shambles because Cifero had captured it, and now Ike has to protect it and collect 2 times the revenue from here. But first, Ike had to rebuild the walls to defend against sudden attacks, but Jerome says it will take 6 months. Well, that's too long, so Ike was planning to complete it in 1 month. Jerome thought it was impossible, but Ike puts humans and demons to work. They work in 8-hour shifts and thus the work goes on for 24 hours. Jerome knew right away this guy is a genius, and when a boulder was in the middle of the road, he went over there himself to help them out. And Jerome knew Ike might become Demon King in future. And right there, our episode 1 ends, but if you want to watch more of the episode of this anime and many more new anime, then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, and please do not forget to like the video to support me so that I could bring out more anime recaps for you. So let's meet in another video. Until then, take care.